Coming up on this episode of the Southeast Michigan Podcast, Michigan hockey back in the Frozen Four. What's going on, Southeast Michigan Podcast? Daniel back with you. Thank you for watching or listening. We are now up on YouTube, so go ahead, click the bell, subscribe, do the same over on wherever you listen. Rate us 5 stars if you can be so kind. But yeah, thank you again. We are on episode 44 here. We are approaching the 50 mark. And I've been just now kind of starting to think about what I want to do for episode 50, whether it's a live show, just a rankings type show. But I have a lot of ideas what's going to be going on here in the future down the road. A lot of nuances to go over, but y'all enjoy it. But yeah, we have kind of an action-packed show. In this offseason, been trying to keep it around a half an hour each day or each episode. So let's get into it. So here's segment 1. It is April 1st here, so some of the stuff on the internet you got to watch out for. But this wasn't one of it. This was something very cool, kind of like things we've already known, but we did get a little confirmation from Kirk Herbstreit. But the EA Sports video game, we got some more news about. Kirk Herbstreit was on Pat McAfee today, and we are going to read a article. Let me pull it up here on the browser for y'all. Kirk Herbstreit right here with a little intel. Let's go ahead and read it. So at brobible.com, this is the article that popped up, and they're everywhere. But this is by Garrett Carr. Kirk Herbstreit teases huge new feature release month in upcoming EA Sports College Football 25 video game. So the long decade plus await for a new version of an EA Sports College Football game is almost here. While there's no release date yet, we will be playing Dynasty Mode in just a few months. Everyone, including myself, is eagerly awaiting any piece of information we can get about the game. On Monday, ESPN College Football and College Game Day analyst Kirk Herbstreit gave us a really cool piece of information that should make the game more enjoyable. Herbstreit was appearing on ESPN's The Pat McAfee Show on Monday when the topic of EA Sports College Football 25 came up. Prior to the game being put on hiatus after the NCAA 14, Herbstreit was one of the in-game announcers alongside Brad Nessler and legendary Lee Corso. But that was the only broadcast booth available. According to Kirk Herbstreit, while he will still be in the upcoming game, there will be other broadcast booths involved as well. Now, before we go any further, what we also know that it's been confirmed, because Kirk Herbstreit has done other interviews about this. So we do know that Reese Davis, Chris Fowler, Jesse Palmer, David Pollock, and Kevin Connors are confirmed to already be in the game. I don't know if it'll be intricate as having Fox, CBS, and all the others alike to be in on this as well. I don't know. I think it's just going to be ESPN. And you're going to have probably maybe 2 or 3, and it's probably going to be between the guys that I have already mentioned. Jesse Palmer has done the games before. Reese Davis, of course. I'm sure David Pollock and Kevin Connors will be like the other. So I just don't think it's going to be that. But I'm not an expert on this. I'm not an insider, but that's just my feelings. Let's get back to the article. Herbstreit notes that he's still doing his voice recordings for the game, as well as mentioning the different booths. And he slipped in that he thinks the game will be out in July. Now, the thing about July is someone on Twitter, I forget the name of it, but another journalist / beat writer something, tweeted out that the game was going to be released on July 12th, and then EA Sports said, nope, there's no such thing. And then around that time when that came out, we did our episode, and I had mentioned that the previous games that have dropped about that time. It's been the 12th before, it's been the 10th, it's been the 9th, been the 11th. It's always that, first week and a half. Let's see here. Moving on here. It's unknown what these different boosts will really mean. Does that mean that we will have games with ESPN graphics and presentations, and some with Fox, CBS, or NBC presentation? Having that many different announcers and different presentations would be incredible. Plus, they could include multiple broadcast teams from some of these networks too. Imagine how cool it'd be to only hear from Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt for Big New Kickoff, or Brad Nessler and Gary Danielson for the CBS Game of the Week. At the end of the day, I think we are all just excited to have an updated college football video game with real players coming to the market again. So that's short, sweet article. Um, but like I said, we've gone through that before because um, Kirk Herbstreit, I think he spoke to actually the Bring NCAA Back Instagram user, maybe not. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Point made. We're excited. I think that Dynasty mode is going to be like the most. I know Roll to Glory is usually the most popular. I think Dynasty mode is going to be the most popular just because this is going to be like the most EA Sports has ever done sales, and I think everyone's going to be doing leagues with their buddies. And I know I'm going to be doing a league with my fantasy football uh, guys. So it's a lot is ramping up, and like I said, it's just a few more months away. Um, and I think once that game comes out, the month of July, um, there's gonna be some nice sunny days. I should be doing yard work, but instead I'm gonna be playing that game. I still played the 2014 version. All right, so that's enough for the game there. Uh, moving into recruiting. Last week, New Michigan running back coach Tony Alford brought in some top running back talent. 5-star Jordan Davison, top 100 running back Bo Jackson, and 4-star Marquise Davis. And I don't know how true it is, but I did see something on Twitter as well that in the time Mike Hart has been a running backs coach at Michigan, he brought one top 200 or something running back in for a visit, and Tony Alford's already done like 4 or 5. But Mike Hart is still a phenomenal coach. I've said it before. If you've been listening to me for a long time, whether it's been here or at Real Talk with Jeff, uh, you know, his Indiana time or his tenure there was with Tevin Coleman, Jordan Howard, and those were a solid combo punch there. And of course, I mean, he's helped transform Blake Corum's career, Donovan Edwards, Hassan Haskins. So Mike Hart has got a track record in itself. Um, Liam McNeely, a 5-star small forward, decommitted from Indiana back on March 7th. And it's been circulating that Dusty May has been targeting him. Coach May was McNeely's first recruiting call, so there's a strong connection. McNeely is the 13th and nationally second at his position, according to Rivals.com, so that'd be a huge get. Dusty May has got a lot of work to cut out for him. I've already given you kind of my mumbo jumbo about him last 2 episodes. Was it last? No, it was the last episode. And really, um, my spin on it, whatever, of what he needs to address, or maybe bring back the guys that were on this 8-win team, because I do believe those pieces are Doug McDaniel and Terrace Reed. But Dusty May has also solidified Michigan's Mr. Basketball Darrell Brooks commitment for the upcoming class. Brooks is a 3-star point guard who pledged last May. 3 Florida Atlantic players have entered the portal as of today. So On3.com has on April 1st the following 3 FAU guys. 7-foot forward Vladislav Golden. He averaged 5.7 points per game, almost 7 rebounds, and a block and a half this last season. Forward Giancarlo Rosado, whose minutes and points per game have gone down gradually over the last 3 seasons. In his second season as an Owl, he went from 17 minutes per game to just over 12 this past season. Guard Nick Boyd averaged 8 points per game, 3.2 rebounds, and just under 2 assists. So, out of those 3 guys, obviously, the one that jumps out at you is Golden, the big tall center who put up a tremendous outing personally or individually in the first round loss this year. But if Michigan can land a big like that to combat whatever Purdue throws out there year in year out, I think would be absolutely huge. He's going to have one more year of eligibility left. All these guys are 4-year guys essentially. Um, but if you get Terrace Reed back and you can get this dude, I don't know what type of offense Dusty May is going to run just yet, but like if you can get some big bodies down low, that'd be great. Get some pick and pop shooters. Um, haven't seen this till now, but I know we've mentioned him when he entered, but not if it was confirmed yet on his destination. But Joey Velasquez has transferred and enrolled at Ohio State. Um, It was rumored, like I said, and mentioned over this a month ago, but according to On3, it's now official. And, he's a special teamer for the football team and an outfielder in baseball. And 100 games played, Velasquez tallied a 255 batting average, 9 home runs, and 51 RBIs. So his contributions on the diamond are more than the gridiron. But Velasquez was one of those guys that when he was getting recruited, he said that not guaranteed, but made a strong statement, said that the rivalry between Ohio State and Michigan on the football field was going to change, and it did. A lot of people gave him crap. I gave him crap for it. Um, Nothing like severe. I'm not going to tweet at him or something like that, but more of like an eye rolling thing, whatever. Because I don't want to say it was brash, but like I said, it was pretty confident. But you know what? He helped with this turnaround because he's been here since 2020. Now he's going to be with the Buckeyes. Now he's from the Columbus area, so uh, it's not like there isn't any ties there. Next, freshman quarterback Jack Grusser has entered the portal as well. Honestly, no offense, but I didn't even know who the hell this kid was. Walk on, and we'll see where he goes. I think someone said online that maybe it was Harvard. Who knows? But On3 has nothing official yet. So that's really it for the news and notes. We got a lot to get to in the next segment here. Don't go nowhere. All right, Southeast Michigan Podcast. Sports betting has rapidly risen in popularity, and I want to connect you all with an opportunity to get started or get ahead. Having multiple sportsbooks accounts is the most simple way to maximize your profits, and there has never been a better time to sign up. When you visit my page, signupexpert.com/southeast, you'll be connected to all the sportsbooks in your region, along with a review of each platform and its unique benefits. All these sportsbooks have valuable sign-up offers for new users, and when you register through my link, you will automatically receive the top offer at each one. When you use multiple sportsbooks, you ensure that you can always access the best available, which is key to successful sports betting. You want to take advantage of these benefits and support our brand, please consider signing up for your next sportsbook at signupexpert.com/southeast. And for example, right here, boys and girls, if you go over to Bet MGM, if you live in the state of Michigan, and you're getting up to $1,500 back in bet credits, and over the weekend, I got 700 big ones from the live roulette, which is fantastic. Live dealer with the lightning rounds and bonuses and all that stuff like that. Go check it out. Use the link in the description box. Appreciate you. Alrighty, so why does this thing keep popping up? All right. Anyways, Michigan hockey finally conquers its demon with MSU and beats them 5-2 Sunday night to advance to their third straight Frozen Four. The victory marked the program's 1800th win and 59th tournament win. Dylan Duke scored twice. Ethan Edwards, Marshall Warren, and Gavin Brindley each scored once. MSU got on the board early in the first period on a power play. And real quickly, I saw this game set for 7:30 Eastern time. 8:30 Central. They were in Missouri. Last week when we were doing an episode, I thought I couldn't find the graphic where it said that they were in Maryland place or Maryland Way, and in fact that was just the town name in Missouri. It was like Kansas City, Missouri, and apparently Missouri just uses other states' names for cities. But I saw that it was 7:30, and so I'm downstairs in the basement playing video games with my friends, and I'm like gearing up for the game to start. I swear it was like 7:15, 7:20, and the first period was over with, and the second period was about to begin. I'm like, wait a second. And so I was like, "Oh, great!" And then as soon as I get into they turn the TV on, they're interviewing the Michigan State player who scored the first goal in that power play, as mentioned, and I'm like, "Oh, great! Already down 1-0." Um, but anyway, so I got to see the second period on. Michigan's Ethan Edwards scored the neutralizer late in period two, and then we're knotted at 1-1 all the way until Marshall Warren's goal in the third. Michigan State's Joey Larson snapped a 14-game goal drought, sending one in on a power play. Michigan had a mental lapse on this one. Larson was kind of like wide open from the Michigan goal. The action was kind of in the far right corner. Larson kind of just trolls out there to the middle, and then one timer goes in. Um, Later, Michigan scores twice in 12 seconds. Oh, this was such a freaking awesome turn of events. First, Dylan Duke, who took it upon himself for a one for a for himself and basically just weaved down there and almost I was it was like a deke right went to the left bottom left corner and it snuck by Trey Augustine's pad, fantastic, and then Frank Nazar did just an absolute nasty between the legs cross to Gavin Brindley, and that was like I said, that was in 12 seconds. That was right after the Duke goal. They come off the face off at center ice, and then it was like boom, 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 and it was straight filth, straight filth. If you're not on the Facebook page or you're not on Twitter and you didn't see me tweet it out, then that means you missed it completely, and you're living in a graveyard somewhere because there's no way you should be not seeing that play. It was amazing. Um, MSU pulled the goaltender right before hitting the penalty kill to which Duke scored again. Um, there was like about 3 minutes to go, and Nightingale yanked Augustine, and ill-timed power play happened. So then he had to put him back in, and then he uh, put him back in, really essentially because uh, they were doing all the action on their end of the zone. Either way, um, what was I say? I lost my train of thought. Either way, Duke 2 goals. I think this was his four. He had four all weekend long in the opening round against North Dakota and MSU. So two in each game. Um, but MSU has a bright future, and a lot of their best players are only freshmen and sophomores. This team again won the Big Ten in the regular season, won the tournament. Obviously, just a week ago, we were talking about Michigan losing to the Spartans in overtime. So they did a lot of first. They haven't been to the Frozen Four since 2008, and that was the last time they really fielded a solid hockey team. Uh, but goaltender Trey Augustine, for transfer from Minnesota to Duluth, Isaac Howard, for Daniel Russell, Northern Michigan transfer Joey Larson, as mentioned earlier, and freshman Gavin O'Connell. Like that core, if that assuming they're coming back, like they're going to be hungry and they're going to be a good team. Like those guys, the guys put it together. A couple of those guys are transfers, as mentioned too. But I mean, that's what you got to do in this day and age. And yeah, I completely forgot. Uh, I always have a brain fart every now and then with names. And Michigan had a player, defenseman Pearson, who transferred to North Dakota, and I didn't notice it till they announced it during the game. And I'm like, completely forgot he left and transferred out. And his first name is not coming to me. I'm thinking of Mel Pearson, the former coach, but Pearson is his last name, and I can't think of his last name. Either way, um, it was kind of bittersweet to take him out in the first round. So Michigan takes on Boston College on April 11th on ESPN2 at 8:30 Eastern. So Michigan going to the Frozen Four for a third straight year. Um, Boston College, though, boys and girls. They're 33-5 on the season, and they're currently rocking a 14-game winning streak. That doesn't bode well for Michigan. They took care of Michigan Tech 6-1 in the opening round and took down the defending national champions over the weekend, Quinnipiac, in 5-4 in overtime. And against Big Ten teams this year, they swept MSU back in October, which is quite a long time ago, and beat Notre Dame 6-1. So when facing against Big Ten teams, they handle them pretty easily, or pretty well. That is. Denver is taking on Boston U the same day, but at 5 Eastern. So that's not this Thursday, but the following Thursday. Between the Frozen Four teams, there are 28 national titles. Denver won the national championship in 2022, Boston College in 2012, Boston University in 2009, and Michigan's was in 1998. Last time Michigan won the national championship was the same season as the football team. So hopefully history repeats itself. Now, I can't remember when the last time Michigan went to the national championship, and I'm the one that comes to my mind the quickest is when they played Minnesota Duluth. Let me bing this real quick. Championship appearances. All right, hold on a second. All right, let me look at this real quick because I'm quite curious. So last year they lost to Quinnipiac 2-5 in the semifinal. They lost to Denver in OT the season before that in the semifinal. So again, last 2 trips to the Frozen Four have been great. 2017, they lost that Frozen Four to Notre Dame 3-4. Then in 2015, 2016, they lost the first round to North Dakota. Let's see here. Okay, so the national championship was 2011. That's what I was thinking of. So when they lost to Minnesota Duluth 2-3 in overtime, I'm like nearly almost positive that was at Minnesota Duluth arena. Like they had it set up perfectly to where they were going to be playing in their backyard. So it's been a long time. Michigan's got to get over the hump. And then if you heard me talk in the beginning of the season for football, I said the big three. Something's got to give. Someone has to step up and win this national championship because Michigan, since at least I've been in my adult life, has just been the king of the runner-ups. Basketball, 2 runner-ups. Obviously, right here, the hockey had a runner-up in 2011. Football has obviously has its struggles until the last 3 years. So I think it's time for the hockey program to hang up another national championship banner. I told you previewing this tournament, I didn't think they had the stuff to do it. Obviously, knowing that the possibility of playing Michigan State was on my mind, but it's hard to beat a team 5 times. Michigan was able to conquer that demon, and now they have the biggest game of the season right now before the national championship is Boston College. Like those guys are humming right now, and Michigan's defense is going to be swinging and on the ropes. But they played a little bit better, even though they lost to Michigan State in the Big Ten championship. They've been cleaning up and getting a little bit better. I'm hopefully Seamus Casey's back healthy. He left the North Dakota game banged up, played a little bit through it, and then left. I haven't heard any news about that. He was in his I want to say street clothes, but he was in his suit and tie for the photo ops at the end of the game last night. So he's at least being able to walk around. So hopefully he gets to go out there and finish the season. So that was another big thing too, is Seamus Casey, like I said, being one of their top 4 players and them being able to do it without him. That was big. Lastly, here before we go, we have. See here, 1 second. So I told you. Let's see. Real quick here. Both Denver and Michigan lead the NCAA in natties with 9 each. Because the reason why I say that is because they're in the Final Four. Duh. And Michigan is now mulling over whether to add women's hockey to its list of varsity sports. So that was another thing I wanted to read you real quick. Let's open this up. All right, so Michigan studying feasibility of launching a women's hockey program. This was from the Associated Press and was actually back on the 28th of March. So the University of Michigan took the first step toward addressing a major in-state void on Thursday by launching a feasibility study to consider establishing a women's varsity hockey program. The study has the backing of school president Santa Ono and was brought forward at a Michigan Regents meeting by member Denise Ilitch, the daughter of the Red Wings owner Marian Ilitch. The push to launch a varsity program, though costly and likely to involve the school having to build a second rink facility, was prompted by a growing call for the state's top institutions to address the absence of Division One program in the state of Michigan, Division One program in Michigan that forces young women to leave the state to pursue the sport beyond high school. Other colleges are creating women's hockey teams, and we're losing great talent in Michigan. We're a Big Ten school. There's no reason why our women can't be on the ice, Ilitch told the Associated Press by phone. We need to step up as an institution now and be a leader here for the state of Michigan, she added. There's a desire, there is an appetite here for it, and we need to meet the need. Michigan had a club level women's hockey team Michigan has had a club level women's hockey team since the mid 1990s. Previously, Detroit based Wayne State was the only state school to feature a varsity women's hockey program before it disbanded in 2011. Ilitch outlined the regions how the Red Wings have led to Detroit being labeled Hockey Town, while Michigan lags behind other states, including New York, with 10 women's varsity programs, Massachusetts with 8, Minnesota with 6. She also noted how Michigan-born Kristen Simmons led women's college hockey players in scoring this season while playing for Wisconsin. There is currently a broken cycle of elite women's hockey players leaving our state, Ilitch said. Equality is not just about numbers, it's about respect. Women belong on the same ice as men. Ilitch said it was her desire to speak up based on her family's history in supporting hockey, including the Little Caesars youth program that caters to boys and girls. Let's see here. To have somebody with a caliber of the name recognized it and bring it to the attention of the university and all the individuals on that board, I think that is a huge step in the right direction. Channel said. So there's maybe Chanel. Melissa Chanel is a Minnesota defensive man who is from Michigan and coached Sims in the Little Caesars program and praised Ilitch for sport. We can only do so much to get exposure, but when somebody with a big name like that advocates for you, I think it definitely helps. Cost will be an issue, with one challenge being infrastructure. The Wolverine men play at the 101-year-old ice arena, Yost, and there's no room to expand the venue to accommodate a women's varsity team due to the building's configuration. Michigan's club team currently has an operating budget between $150,000 and $200,000, while players are also required to pay a $3,000 annual fee. So there you go. There's going on and on and on, whatever. But there's obviously Ohio State and Wisconsin. Doing well as women hockey programs, and so now Michigan wants to step into the ring. And like I said, real quickly, we'll end here with Michigan football. Not too much to go off of other than the transfer portal, but here we go. Michigan landed its defensive line coach finally, Lou Esposito from Memphis. He was just hired there this offseason after spending handful of seasons with Western Michigan. I think he was there since 2017, and he was the defensive coordinator as well. Not a splash name. I'll have to read up more on him, but I'm trying to keep an open mind. Obviously, Greg Scruggs, I think, was a bigger name, but it is what it is. Lou Esposito, This is like let's say the first big boy job he's had, but this is the most prominent program on his resume. He's been at um, Western, almost Memphis. Was it Ferris State? So he's been in the state of Michigan, but at some of the smaller programs. Um, see here, from what I've personally read into regards of spring practices, at least as of today, Andrew Gentry is competing for that starting RT role, right tackle. Greg Crippen is pushing for the center job. I've heard GL Hadi's name. I mean, he's been in the program for the last few years and has been utilized a lot, even though he's not a starter. Northwestern offensive line transfer Josh Preeb looks to be talented enough to help at multiple positions. Quarterbacks are competing, and of course, we are, you know, soaking in the Kool-Aid of Orgy or Donegal. But Jack Tuttle is being thrown in there as a potential legit starter. I'm just not sure that's going to actually be a possibility. But he is really motivated, and when he did step in at you know the very small sample size that he did last season or whatever, he was slinging it, he was spinning it. But DJ Waller, Jair Hill stepping up, and Jay McBurrow's working in that nickel spot. Sounds like it's his to surrender at this point. And Donovan Edwards, I can't remember if I mentioned it last week, but he is up 14 pounds, and he is kind of starting in his leadership role, or a much larger one here for the upcoming year. So that is about it. We will talk, I think, sometime next week. Not sure what's going to happen between now and then. Maybe be more recruiting news, because obviously Michigan was not going to be playing till the 11th, and then the 13th will be the national championship if they can get there. So Michigan hockey, big test in a couple weeks, and they are going to have an even taller one to finally capture their first national championship since 1998. So thank you guys for watching. I always say watching. Thank you guys for watching or listening. Like I said, it's free and available wherever you get your podcast, and free and available up on YouTube, where you can hit the bell and subscribe and all that good stuff. But follow us or follow me over on Twitter and the Facebook page. Both those links will be in the description box to do so. Uh, Chime in at me, ask me questions if you'd like. Uh, Drop a comment on YouTube, whatever, on um, what you thought about the games or anything you want to chat about. Let me know. Let's talk about it. Let's get you guys involved. I'm thinking about doing a um, giveaway type deal here coming up in the next couple months or so. And like I said, I got a lot of cool surprises for y'all. Not everything is going to be Michigan football related, but something that probably everybody can enjoy. All right, guys, go blue. Peace.